So my name is Hery. You can find me at heryhenry.com, and I've completed my first deal. And the initial valuation of this company, it's a company that organizes, facilitates business between the Nordics, the UK and East Africa, organizes conferences, business excursions, and helps build business models and operating models that span East Africa and the Nordics, for example. And the owners valued it at 100,000 initially, and I ended up buying 1/3 of the company for 100 euros. Now the irony and the funny story there is that I actually ended up paying 147 because I submitted the tax registration for my new share 4 days late, so I was taxed with a fine of 47 euros. So in total I paid 147 euros for a nice chunk of that company. I found that deal because I initially hired with that company as a sort of a conference consultant. They needed a moderator for the event, and hosting, moderating, public speaking is what I do. So I offered my services and I worked with them. And after I brought in lots of my contacts, lots of my former clients to be part of their sales funnel, I suppose. And they started discussing the option of me stepping in as a partner at some stage. And they wanted quite a bit of money. They wanted 35 grand roughly. And I didn't have the money at the time. Neither did I want to pay it in. So what I did instead was I started working as if I was already a partner in the company, and I found that to be quite useful as a business consultant as well in the past, because at the end of the day, what do you have to lose? I mean, you lose a bit of Netflix time, you lose a bit of going for long walks and eating too much cake time, but at the end of the day, if it's something you're passionate about, and this business and what they were doing was right up my alley, why not offer your services for free? And then see what value you can build together, and then build rapport that way. Because I find that when you negotiate for shares in a company, everyone's always apprehensive. Everyone's thinking that the other side is smarter than they are, and they're withholding information, and that and it's never easily conducive to a good sort of value add thinking, or thinking how can we make this company great, rather than thinking about how can I get what I want out of the other person. So in order to do win-win thinking, I went in, and I tend to go in as transparently as possible, even if the potential seller doesn't believe me at that time, but I stay consistent to that message, and eventually they will. And in this case, I went in and I said, right, I've shown you what I can do. You know what value I provide when I step out on that stage, and when I bring the delegates in, and when I facilitate all this. You know what value I provide in terms of sales. Now let me show you what I can provide you with in terms of marketing, sales funnel, operating model, building for some of your customers, business model conceptualization. And I started working as if I was already a partner in the company. And gradually, as time went by, they kept coming back to me and offering me larger chunks of the company for less money. And I basically kept smiling through that, and kept working as before. And I said, I don't see I can pay for any of this at the moment, and I understand that you would like to be paid for the work and the money that you've already put in, but unfortunately, as you all know, because you're experienced entrepreneurs, that's not how the world works unless you are a startup that is valued as a unicorn and has unique technology. So we kept going, and then I was sort of in the last months, in the last 2 months of that negotiation, and I went to the Harbour Club seminar with Jeremy in May, and that kind of validated my thoughts on that. The only correct, as Jeremy puts it, the only correct valuation, the only valuation model that actually matters out of the roughly 200 that there are out there in the world, is what anyone is willing to pay for your company. So if you have one buyer and he's willing to pay you 100 quid, then your company is worth 100 quid in that moment. It's the price of your company. It's not necessarily the value or the future value of your company. So there's an opportunity there to build something something good together, hopefully with a potential buyer or a new partner. The Harbor Club seminar gave me validation for my thoughts, and I went back and I said, guys, let's clinch this deal. How about I'll give you 50 euros each? And they said, well, okay, let's do it. And so here we are, and that's my first deal. The biggest difficulty in all this was making time for providing value for free. I encourage people to do that. I talk about that all the time as a really good sales and brand building strategy, because there's lots and lots of people out there who go in for the ask up front rather than providing value and then letting a potential buyer come to you, or in this case the seller. But it is a tactic that works, and my advice to anyone sourcing at the moment and looking to do deals is that if a deal is right up your alley in terms of the content, if this is your forte, if this is where you want to go, if this is your passion in terms of a business, then go all in with your time. Don't worry about that. If it's what you're passionate about, then it'll feel like having another high time cost hobby. Hopefully I'll see lots of you soon as part of the London Harbor Club group or somewhere else. Let's go do deals, and especially let's go and do joint ventures, because all of this is a lot more fun with good people by your side. Hery out. See you soon.